going to do another update video, even though I haven't really accomplished much. I just tore out what was the previous pathways out to the cargo conduits to either side of the neck of the ship, putting the bulk of the thing here. You know what? One thing I like about this design, as much as I don't like other parts, this strip up the middle means that like a wheeled thing, or even maybe some sort of clutch thing coming up and down, could help crew members carry or push cargo up the incline. Let's see. No, there's plenty of ceiling. No, in the past, every time I had a low ceiling, coming up the ramp proved difficult, so I'm going to leave that alone. However, this area is going to be filled in, I think, by other stuff. So I'm going to show you what has changed before I destroy it again. So, previous video, I showed you medical and sanitation, and I have just basically spent the whole time redoing those because the space was never quite filled. Oh, hello. Sorry, my thing went down. The space was never quite filled well. And yet I don't have anywhere else to put this stuff. I still have to get the warp core in somewhere that is central. So unless it goes up towards the neck, or not the neck, but, excuse me, towards the head, I don't know. So, sanitation. It is way more believable now, including a wardrobe. We've got, again, this sort of pervasive, mild ultraviolet light to help kill off, you know, pathogens and stuff. Showers, things, all makes perfect sense. Same thing on this side. This ship is really shaping up like it's meant to be for a crew of more than 7. So unless they all have to come in at once and use every shower, that's really over capacity. But there's so much room in this ship, even though some of the things are hard to stick in. Past that, we get, you know what? Let's take this off. Past that, medical. Alright, you go first immediately into the medical lab. It's identical on this side, just reversed. There was a wall here until a couple of minutes ago, but these things are all properly named. Let's see. Devices. Starboard mutilation repair bed. So there's plenty of medical capacity. There's ventilation. I take this is where that window was. I'm thinking that I'm going to reorient this to squish it forward and back so that the medical areas actually abut this edge, and I will bring back the window. Okay. Oh, you know, I could put that maybe on the outside. Let me... I probably... maybe I could make it stick out just a little bit more so that I can use this row for things. But, you know, people who are convalescing, or whatever the appropriate word is, might want to be able to look out. That might be a relaxant. But anyways, despite the damage I've just done, there's this. But then you go up, and I haven't put it in yet, and I might not now that it's whatever, but this is more or less the medical officer's office. And it's big. It's too big. But one of the things I liked about it, I'll need to put in actual desks and stuff here, and unfortunately, because of this business, I can't put any furniture here. But, you know, you could sort of step up and look down and see how people were doing. You know, the people, I mean, those aren't sitting beds. I should also put in a bed, but one of the things that's driving me nuts is the actual beds do not fit. They're... I wish there were multiple models of each or something, but if I were to put in, well, a bed, the scale is equivalent to this, but this thing takes up 1 by 2, and this is just 1 by 1. I wish these took up 1 by 1 too, so that they fit into places better. But, you know, doctor can look down upon how things are going, keep an eye on things. But again, you know, it's a pretty big medical lab for such a tiny crew. I mean, I've been binge watching Voyager lately, and you've got one whole lab and maybe like 3 beds or something. I can't remember exactly. And that's enough for 120, 150 people? I can't remember. Also, the ceiling is complicating up here. Like, I couldn't quite figure out how to get things above it. So, as much as I like the design of that room, you can see there's not much room to squeeze in through here, especially at that end where the ceiling drops suddenly. Like, there's no way to get a person walking through here, and there needs to be access to engineering. And at least the warp core has to be on the central axis. Probably the shield as well. So there's all of that. I still do want up here to be sort of a management station of what's going on down below. But one of the reasons why... I mean, I took all this out and lifted this up to make room for potentially making the sanitation and medical stuff wider and shorter. And flush with this stuff so that now all of a sudden I've got space here to do things with on both sides. And I don't really know what I would want to do. Probably if there's going to be any industrial stuff like whatever, it'll have to be along this edge here. So I've made... In order to make this possible, I am expanding the hull. I'm going to have to figure out how to... I adjusted this right here, but this part needs some extra thought. I'd like it to be cleaner than it already is. But that also means these curvatures need to change. So let's do that right now. Hello? Hello? Is that right? Yeah. That's wrong. Okay. And I done that on the other side, didn't I? Yep. Yep. Does that mean I need to take these out? Well, I don't want to take those out because those currently support that. So I guess from here on down we are doing this business. Well, actually, how does that conform to what I wanted to do? So we could expand this. Oh wait, you know what? I think I was thinking of doing... I'm so confused. Hold on. This? Yeah, okay. So let's keep doing this. All the way down. Figure out the end later. And this. As soon as I find it. Right. All the way down. Until I figure it out later. I do not believe that I mind that. That makes the sort of brake lights... Not that it needs brake lights, but it makes them make more sense. Okay, so the curvature has changed. And that means now I have room here. And yes, I tore everything out for a second time. And you can see I've made... Part of the reason I'm doing this also is to make the belly a bit lower down here so I could buy myself room for engineering crap through here. So, now the cargo path is centric. Ventral? No. Anyway, spinal. And I've defined the paths one takes, and then there's, because it had to go here towards these, and then onto either side. So now this area here is more or less where I want the medical stuff. Maybe I could do medical on one side and sort of a pit stop for people doing work back here on the other. That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know. I'll come back to it. Okay, so I like the shape of these rooms. They're a bit long, but I like their shape. And you know what? Alright, here. So, they're identical. That's okay. Even if one is a lounge and the other is not, that is okay. Oh, you know what? One thing I wanted to know. Here. Let's put on a funny color and see if this is reflected on the other side. How do I get out of here? Ah! Here we go. I have been through so many editions on this. Shows up on both sides. So whatever texture the outside of the ship's going to have has to be on both sides of this business. That's mildly upsetting. What is an appropriate outside texture? Not green though. Not green. I mean, basically, same color we've already got. I don't know about that. But I guess for the most part, since it's mostly glass, it doesn't matter that much. Plans keep changing. That's how it goes. I'm going to turn this off and make this the last clip for today, because it is an update, even if I keep changing my mind. So, yes, I cannot jump to warp. That's true. Alright, so let's turn all this off, make it easier to see. Actually, let's also take a screenshot. Maybe. Very good. Okay, so this seems like a pretty obvious spot for the warp and the shield. Got some RCS down here. I got that. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to seal that off, because it should not be exposed to the bay, because that would stink. The bay seems to have grown a great deal. So actually, what I ought to do is bring these back a little bit more and make the room I've been needing. Because what I want is, now that I have, you know, the med bay, you got convalescent seats and all that, you got a couple of bathrooms, and then you'll come through here to get to the rest of the ship, and I'll have somebody's office not too far away. I wonder if I shouldn't have more glass on. No, because that's the... whatever. Okay, and then the lounge on the other side here. Run, 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 run. We got the lounge on the other side. Some space needs using. I can't remember what I was going to put there. But you can see all the best seats in the house. Just a snacks thing. Drinks, snacks, washing up, lounging around, maybe a TV and a monitor or something. But again, a couple of bathrooms and the way to the rest of the ship. What that means is, for both circumstances, there needs to be showers in this vicinity somehow. And there does seem to be some room, especially if I move these back further and make that sort of U shape that defines where the small terrain vehicles should go. But anyways, and if I move all of this back as a result, that gives me more room for offices up front here for the medical person. And then there's a little bit of room above all this for the engineering area, I think. But that does mean the paths, regardless of if they start back there or here, will go. But you can see now they go straight from back to front. There's no going around corners and stuff like that. So that's an improvement. The complication now is access to the engine wings still has to come through here somehow. So I got to figure out how one gets there. But we'll worry about that some other time. Thanks for watching. Come again.